Hey there, Brick fans, and welcome to the second episode of Building Batuu Galaxy's Edge in Lego. Now, last week we went through the planning and inspiration and all that sort of thing. Today we are actually going to be looking at the brick layout. So that is going to give you guys a much better idea of the elevations and just the real estate that I have available to me and how it all lays out on the actual mock. Now, if you haven't checked out last episode, I do suggest that you go back and at least have a look at the plan for that. It's going to be a big epic challenge, as I've mentioned before, and I just wanted to say a big thanks to everyone who's been super supportive in the last little bit since I started, and hello to all of our new subscribers. If you haven't subscribed already, I do suggest you jump on board now so you don't miss any of the content. You can see all the updates as they come through. So hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any content. So as I said, we're just going to have a quick look at the planning map just so you guys have a bit of an idea of the layout if you didn't see last episode. And then we are going to shoot straight into the brick layout. So let's get into it. So guys, here is the brick layout. Now, just a little disclaimer, these bricks are not permanent. They are just there to give me a bit of an idea of real layout positioning on the mock, and also just a little bit of an idea of elevation. We'll kick it all off with the Falcon and Spaceport. We will run around here like this, and then there will be the big large rock spires here. And then this will actually be the tower, which is the Smuggler's Run entrance at the park. And then right next to that will be Docking Bay 7. So that'll be food and cargo. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to be doing internals for these two buildings. But pretty much every other building I will be. Grief Karga's hanging out down there because, you know, he likes to eat. Then we pass on through to Ronto Roasters. So this will have the pod racer engine firing down, kind of roasting those Rontos, which will be pretty cool. Again, we got Sebulba hanging out down there. I feel like he'd be a guy that'd hang out at Ronto Roasters for sure. And then that will step out onto an open marketplace. So on the other side here, this will all be open. You'll be able to view the market from this side. Basically, that will run the whole way across into the souk market up on top. So that'll be on that layer. That'll run all the way across, including Ronto Roasters and Docking Bay will all be at that level. But then underneath, as we come down here, you will actually see a little spiral staircase that comes down. So that'll start about here and then track down like this and come out here next to the milk stand. And also Savvy's workshop entrance will actually be carved into the bottom of the black spire. Now these will obviously indicate the black spire that wraps around Savvy's. With Savvy's and Ogre's Cantina, I have raised them up a lot. And that's just to keep them on the same level and to get a bit more of that elevation that I wanted. The two of them will obviously have an overpass between Ogres and Doc Ondars. That's just to sort of capture that visual through that you see a lot when you look at the Galaxy's Edge through to the Falcon. So I want to get a lot of shots through here, and I wanted that overpass, which I think is pretty iconic for Galaxy's Edge. Obviously, Doc Ondars will be up on that same level as Ronto Roasters and the market. And then underneath will be Zavvy's workshops. The idea is that underneath here and running through into this white building underneath will actually be Zavvy's workshop over there. And that will actually have a little tunnel that goes underneath this spiral staircase which comes down. The milk stand backs onto the repair bay of the droid depot. Droid depot entrance will be here, and you'll have the droids sitting around the outside. Just down from Ogre's, we'll be sitting down the lower level, as I said in the planning. This will actually be Black Spire Station. We got Vimarati down there, and the TX land speeder. Similar to Luke's again, this will have a mod on it because the one at the park actually has like blue panels on the top and a few other little things. So I will be modding that a little bit. Then you come down to the main gate. So you'll be able to visually see through here, through the main gate. And then on the other side, you'll have the start of what is the large first order banners. And then here is the first order docking bay. It will be a lot more rocky as per the concept art. And also what I'm going to do, obviously we have Kylo Ren and some Imperial officers and Stormtrooper. But I will actually be bringing in a kind of raised landing for the TIE echelon. And that'll have some big suspension and things like that. Just very large support beams that come in, and then a very kind of spiky rock in behind here. So leading on from the first order base, we do come up over a very large overpass, as I mentioned before. The ancient ruins will actually be here, and this will all be forested. So these will be kind of hidden, and then the ancient ruins will actually track up over the top and into what is the resistance base over the other side of the overpass. The main overpass will be here, so we'll be able to get a lot of kind of cool shots, similar to this, kind of looking out through Galaxy's Edge and up and through here. So that's just a bit of an idea of kind of the layout from down at ground level and through the overpass. It'll definitely be there. Up and over the overpass, you will see the ITS resistance transport. So this will be similar if you've seen any of the aerial photography of the park when it was getting built, or just been to the park, you'll have seen the large cave that kind of goes over the top. So that'll actually come up and over the top. You'll have the resistance, the Rise of the Resistance room here. We see BB-8 and Rey and the hologram. That'll be all in this section, which will be viewable from here, which I'll show you in a minute. And then Poe Dameron's, there's Poe there. His black X-Wing will also sit here. Now, you might see underneath, this is like the 4+ X-Wing. I'm totally not going to use this because, I mean, it's a 4+ X-Wing. So I do have a couple of other X-Wings. I have the Resistance X-Wing. It's probably a little bit too sizable because I'm trying to match scales with the Falcon. The ITS Resistance Transport's pretty close. I might do a little bit of a mod on it, but I'm pretty happy with the scale of that and the Falcon. So, and similarly, the A-Wing, I will do some mods on it just to kind of match it a little bit closer to what I want from the park. Definitely for the X-Wing and for Poe Dameron's black X-Wing, they'll be the same mod / mock at a sort of in between scale. I've actually got one here that you'll see. So that's kind of the Resistance X-Wing. I'm looking to do one in between the two of these, just because I think that'll fit into the hangar bay and sort of match the scale a bit better. And also obviously one on top. So yeah, I mean, if anyone's been to the Rise of the Resistance ride, you will have seen you do go into the room and then come out onto the ITS transport and Poe's black X-Wing. So that should be similar to what you see in the park. Okay, so we're around the side of the Resistance base now. This will actually be the open side of the build as you run along this way. So you'll get to see all the internals, which will be really cool. And starting obviously with the Rise of the Resistance room. Now I think I'll actually only have this open on this side, and then this will actually just be rock face / wall, and then will be open here, which will be the open hangar bays. And I may even keep it like semi-open here, and maybe just like some kind of holes in through the rock, so that you can see parts of the hangar bay, but not the whole hangar bay. But this will definitely be wide open. You'll be able to see BB-8 up here kind of rolling around, and Rey in her hologram. I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to do that. I'm doing a few little tests. I've seen some really cool ideas that other people have done. So I'm going to test a few things out and see what I think looks best. And then through here, obviously this will still be a cave rock face here, but then the underside, this will actually be a large rebel command post, where you'll see we've got General Leia Organa there. This will be kind of cool. They'll have the round table. They'll have all of the sort of the holographic type of sort of boards and things like that. So that'll all sort of sit in this space. Moving along here, you'll see the entrance to the droid depot. I am actually going to keep this side of the droid depot open. I may close this part off. I'm just sort of I'm going to play around with what works. Visually, I kind of want to draw people's eyes into certain areas. So I may actually have this section blocked off, but then as you kind of move along, you can see into these little sections here. Now I plan on doing, this will actually have like all the little droid legs and things. I'm going to look and see what I can do in terms of lighting. I'm definitely going to try and get some lighting in there. I've been talking to Glowbricks. He's super helpful. Grant from Glowbricks. He's been awesome. I haven't really had much experience with lighting, but he's definitely going to help me out. I've bought a couple of starter kits from him. I'm going to get stuff started. So definitely all of these internals here should all be pretty lit up, as well as the other buildings. And then also I'm going to try to get a little bit more mechanical sort of movement here, so that you'll actually see the droid legs kind of tracking around. And I should have enough room in here to sort of do that. I am going to raise up ever so slightly this room just to get a little bit more height. Sort of similar to what I've done with the, if you have a look there, you'll see the height of the command center. I'm going to do something similar here just to get a little bit more height and a bit more headroom to do those things that I really want to do in there. So moving along, you will see the internals of the droid depot. Moving through to here, this section will actually be the conveyor belt where all the parts come through. So that'll be cool. And I'm going to try and have something run in between here and then out there and then back through. So hopefully I can sort that out. That'll be a bit of a challenge, but a fun one. And then this section, I'm a bit excited about this section. So this will be Savvy's workshop table. As I said before, the entrance will actually be over the other side of Doc Ondar's. You'll come in here. There'll be a passageway through underneath the spiral staircase, which will be up here. The hidden stairway, or the hidden passageway, sorry, will come through here. And then this will be the table section, which you'll see all of the minifigs with their lightsabers being built. This is obviously one of the gatherers that I've started sort of playing around with. He's a mixture of Lawson Tekka's outfit, which I felt was pretty close in terms of the colors and things, and also with the goggles of Neville Longbottom from some of the Harry Potter books. I am going to play around a little bit with that. I think I'm maybe even going to look at the Naboo Royal Guard, you know, like Captain Panaka. His kind of outfit might feel a little bit closer, or maybe the blacksmith. I'm going to have a little bit of a look around, but at the moment I kind of like the Lawson Tekka look. But we'll see how that turns out. I'm going to try a few different versions of the gatherers. Now the one thing I'm going to do with this little space here is I'm actually going to create a little wall through here, and this is actually where people are going to be able to go through, and instead of just picking their kyber crystal from the canister, and you can kind of pick it, what I'm actually going to do is they're going to be able to pick the kyber crystal from this very special cave I'm going to build, and then have all of the kyber crystals throughout that. That was actually in some of the concept art, which looked pretty cool. Basically with this build, guys, you're going to see a lot of internals through this section of the build. I am planning on having Doc Ondar's have the roof kind of lifted off. Same with probably Ogre's Cantina. And then Ronto's is sort of more open because it's got larger doorways that you can fit through. But those two in particular. I may even have a little back section of ogres that I will have as removable or openable, so you can see in there and see some of the cool stuff that I'm going to do in there. But I'm definitely going to do an internal for that, and I'm going to do an internal for Doc Hondars and Rontos. There will be the custom mock that I'm going to do for the transport, the cargo transport that goes on top of Docking Bay 7. So that will definitely get some love, but probably not in an internal sense. It will have some outdoor tables and things that allude to like an area where you can go. But generally, I think this one and that one, the tower, will be somewhat locked up, or a little bit harder to sort of get into. So there you go, guys. That's the overview of Galaxy's Edge, the build, and it is going to be one epic journey for me. I can't wait for you guys to see the next steps. Basically, from now on, we are going to be laying down a lot of terrain and getting these things. All of these bricks obviously are going to go down, and we're going to start building up some of these things and testing out, in particular, how we're going to get some of these rotundas sort of worked out and the different techniques I'm going to use. That's the first thing, and then I'm going to come up with hopefully some sort of modular way to get this overpass together so it's got some strength, because that will be really important, because obviously it's going to have to hold a fair bit of chunky brick plus some of the area of the resistance base. One thing that I didn't mention before was the Guavian Death Gang down there. You can see them. That is actually going to be a nod to the VR Tales of Galaxy's Edge. I play it on the Quest. It's super cool. I had so much fun, so I wanted to include that in here, or at least a bit of a nod to it. So they'll get in there as well. They get their little look in. So that pretty much wraps up today's episode, guys. As I said before, there's a lot more to come. It is a big, epic challenge. It's going to be a massive journey. If you guys have got any comments, please leave them below. Any ideas of techniques, anything you thought I should have put into the plan or the brick layout, or that you guys just want to say hi, feel free, chuck it in the comments below. Again, if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. It really helps support the channel. I will be bringing out some little bits of exclusive content on Instagram and Facebook with regards to the build and other content. So if you want to, please follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, so you don't miss any content coming up. On next week, we are going to be looking a little bit more at starting to put together some of the tests of how some of the rotundas are going to work, and probably having a look at some of the studio builds that I've been doing, and just a bit of a general update next week, as I sort of start to find my way into how I'm really going to attack this thing. So please stay tuned, and until next time, may the bricks be with you.